I love cooking with the seasons, and that means that during the fall, I love to see what kind of creative recipes I can cook with pumpkin. I do believe that eating with the season really connects us not just to the season, but also to the best health benefits, because there's this idea that in the spring we eat a lot of fresh herbs and fresh fruit that just grows up after the winter, and during the summer we eat a lot of fruit, a lot of juicy produce, and during the fall it's a lot more earthy and grounding. And pumpkins are exactly that. They're earthy, sweet, grounding, and full of flavors right before the winter, before we probably get more into the root vegetables, which are even more grounding and nourishing. For this video, I am cooking a butternut squash pasta, and it's just one of those recipes that is so flexible, and you can use whatever everyday ingredients you have in your kitchen. I'm also really big on combining various textures and flavors, roasting walnuts for a little bit of crunch in a dish that is otherwise just mostly creamy and very uniform in texture, and adding roasted walnuts. And I love roasting them in my air fryer, which lives in our garage, but more on that later. Just gives the whole dish a lot more interest and something for the teeth to bite on. Most of the time I make up recipes as I go, and sometimes I get inspiration from recipes online or from cookbooks when I'm looking up a recipe, because I do need some inspiration of what to do with ingredients that I already have in my kitchen. This pasta sauce is so silky and creamy, and the entire dish was just absolutely delightful. Oftentimes, also, while I don't always make up my recipe from scratch, and while I'm cooking on the go, so to speak, testing and trying as I'm cooking and seeing what I could improve, I don't usually cook entirely according to a recipe. Usually what I do is I look at the recipe and from there decide, oh, I actually like to add a little bit more of this, or I like to add a little bit less of that. I don't have this ingredient. I'll just substitute with something else. I am taking a lot of liberties in my kitchen while I'm cooking, and that makes it so fun because I don't get hung up on certain ingredients, or I don't have the right amount. If I have a little less of something, then I just use a little bit more of something else. And I find that it's very liberating, very freeing, and also a lot more fun because I'm not stressed out. Cooking is so much fun, and I absolutely enjoy the whole process. This next recipe is going to be a pumpkin quiche, and while quiche is something that is not German, but it is actually more French, but as you may know from history, the border between France and Germany often varied over the centuries, and regions that were German all of a sudden happened to be French, and then vice versa. So there's a lot of crossover with French and German cuisine, and quiches are something that are pretty popular in Germany. Mostly they contain leeks and some sort of ham, but I always think that whenever you combine eggs and milk and cheese, you can add pretty much whatever ingredient you have, because that is such a canvas for something delicious. This time I am using red onions, and I have some leftover butternut squash from the other night. Again, this is creatively cooking with what I have. And yes, sometimes I do go to the market and buy ingredients. I always love to see what's in season, because what is in season is most often also the cheapest versus produce that is not in season and needs to be shipped or trucked to this country. Anyhow, I had this butternut squash left, and I thought, what if I added that to a quiche? Now, you need to fry the ingredients a little bit, but I do think that playing with the flavors is absolutely great. And sometimes there are recipes that, well, I'm thinking, you know what, that maybe we don't need to cook anymore. Or I think about it and think that I could have improved this way or that way, or I could have done that and it would have actually been a lot more better. This quiche, however, is a real winner, and most of the time, and don't get me wrong when I say this, I feel like my recipes are pretty good. Otherwise, I wouldn't feature them in a video if they hadn't been absolutely keepers for my kitchen. So, yes, I am going as I'm cooking, but I also try to imagine flavors. And when I am cooking, I love to cook with real ingredients. I know that raw milk can be sometimes a little bit controversial. I know exactly where our milk comes from. I trust the farmers there. I know them personally. I can see the cows. I know they're healthy. I know that we do everything we can to make sure we're eating a safe product for us to consume, but that's a decision that every family has to make on their own and for themselves to know what they're most comfortable with. What I do love about it, again, is that I know exactly where this milk comes from. The cows are being treated very humanely and live a very good grass-fed life out on the pasture. And it gives me this cream. It is sweet. It is not something that you get, in my opinion, in homogenized cream from the grocery store. But this one has a really sweet, and even the milk has a very sweet taste. And I am a big believer in high quality ingredients. I always like to say, get the highest quality ingredients you can afford, whatever that means for you. And for us, that means using this very fresh milk and very fresh cream. And when the ingredients are of high quality and exceptional taste, you don't really have to add a whole lot of seasoning to mask bad flavor, but actually you simply add just a little bit of spicing to bring out the natural flavors that are already there, and then you have a good product. Likewise, I don't necessarily am looking for a lot of shortcuts in my kitchen. I love to grate my cheese freshly because they do add extra ingredients to grated cheese. If you ever look at the package, there's cellulose in it, and for me, that is sawdust, not necessarily something I need in my quiche or in my food. So I like to grate the cheese, and it really doesn't take that much extra time. Sometimes I do think that a recipe will take a long time, and I do understand there are a lot of people who come home and after a long day, they need to get something on the table quickly. But more often than not, I find that making food from scratch doesn't really take all that much more time. With a little bit of planning and a little bit of experience in your kitchen and knowing where everything is and having a certain rhythm and so forth to it will produce something on the table in 40 minutes or less, I want to say. Obviously, this quiche with the preparation didn't take a whole lot of time. And if you are efficient in your preparation, make the crust beforehand, let the crust chill, and then saute the ingredients that go into it. But then obviously you need to still bake it. This one didn't take a very long time. It took maybe 30, 40 minutes before the cheese and the eggs were all set, but it was, oh my gosh, it was so delicious. The sweet butternut squash combined with I'm adding some feta here, the saltiness of the feta cheese, and just all around, it was just explosion of flavors in our mouth, and just some fresh herbs from the garden. Is a very simple dish, but it is so good and is so nourishing, and we know exactly where it comes from. And for me, the cooking process is also very meditative and grounding. If you've been following my channel and my blog for a while, you might know that I am a lot about traditional mostly German recipes because I have all these fond memories of my grandmother. But I have to say that while I am trying to keep traditions, often the food that I'm cooking is not something that my grandmother would necessarily recognize. And I don't know, unfortunately, I can't ask her anymore because she passed away. I don't know if Einkorn really was a thing when she was cooking in her kitchen. Einkorn definitely is an ancient grain, but it basically has a bit of a renaissance right now because of its health benefits and its high nutrition and easy digestibility. This one is an Einkorn pumpkin risotto. And if you've ever made risotto, it is a bit something where, yes, you can't really take any shortcuts. You are adding white wine or broth if you're not using wine in your kitchen, and broth, and actually alternate it and let it cook down to create a certain texture and flavor. Usually we're using rice, the round corn rice grains, but I thought that einkorn would add a little bit more bite and a little bit more interesting taste to it. And none of us was disappointed. This was another dish that was absolutely delicious. Also, what my grandmother didn't have was an air fryer, and I resisted having an air fryer for the longest time because I thought, oh, it's just another appliance that I may use for a little bit, but then it's just standing around and using up valuable kitchen real estate. But I have to say that this is definitely one of those where I'm almost a little hesitant to admit because I like to be a little bit old-fashioned and a little bit traditional, and the air fryer is everything but. But having said that, I use it all the time. However, because our kitchen is not that big, it does live in the garage, which has the added benefit that whatever we're cooking in there, oftentimes we do cook fish in there or other smoky things, we don't get the smell and the stink and everything in the kitchen and in the house because we don't have a door to the rest of the house from our kitchen. So the air fryer is something that is staying and will always be a appliance that has so many uses. If you don't have one, I encourage you. They're not very expensive. They really make everything so much easier, including roasting this. I think it's called a harlequin squash, and that is what I love about squashes. There are so many different types, and yeah, they're all earthy and sweet and grounding, but they all have very distinct their own flavors. Combining this with a salty, flavorful broth and some very simple seasonings made this einkorn pumpkin risotto another keeper for my kitchen. And again, this is something that I do every single time. I grate my Parmesan freshly and I use very high quality butter. And I always believe that butter makes everything better. Have you heard that before? Just a dollop of butter it brings out all the flavors because oil does carry flavor. And while I am grating the cheese here, I am reminded how meditative cooking can be, and you can take shortcuts and you can use everything from a package, but when you're actually connected to the food you're making and you know exactly what you did and what went into it, I think it makes a huge difference, not just for myself, but for my whole family that I am feeding with this. A brown butter sage sauce is the finishing, the dot on the I, the little bit of extra that makes this dish stand out, and it's so worth taking that extra time to do this. Some fresh caught salmon was the perfect main for this risotto. I have told you that often I am looking for ways to use up certain ingredients, and here I have something that makes a regular appearance in my videos, and that is called quark, quark in German. It is a soft, young, fresh cheese that is not quite like ricotta, but similar to it, but a lot more milder and very fresh tasting. I do make my own. And sometimes I end up with extra milk, and then I make my own quark. And I have a lot of recipes that I use quark for, but this time I had a little bit because we were on vacation and out of town and I needed to use it up. So for this one, I used another German idea, and that is basically we call it Kartoffelpuffer, but this one, it's a potato fritter. And I wanted to see if I could make that in a pumpkin fritter. And because of the sweetness of the pumpkin, it always needs something to, a little bit of taste contrast to not just taste sweet and kind of, not really, I don't want to say bland, but you know what I'm talking about. And I think that the quark with its fresh, slightly cheesy, very mild cheesy taste would be a very good side for the fritters. I am so grateful that I do have the ability to get all these fresh ingredients, seasonal produce, and that I do have access to all this food and connect to the seasons this way, and being able to cook food from scratch for my family, which I believe is the absolute best. And again, I don't necessarily think it takes all that much more time. With a little bit of planning and a little bit of a rhythm here, it can absolutely be done. Frying these fritters was a little bit of an experiment, but I have to say this is another keeper recipe for our kitchen that I'll definitely do again, and that was so worthwhile making. This was an amazing vegetarian dish with some salad on the side with a little bit of quark, some pumpkin seed oil, which is very dark, some pumpkin seeds, and like I said, delicious. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know if you have questions, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.